Okay, so, folks, here's the deal. When people in the ancient world looked for a place to build their city, they looked for two things, primarily two things. One, good location, strategic location, and then water. They had to have both. And in places where they found both, they decided to build their town. In most of these places, they already chose a place that was elevated, like a little hill, okay, to already start from a place that's higher than the surroundings. So let's assume that my head over here is that little hill, the bedrock, a good location, and that's where people want to build their city. So that's what they do. They come here and they build their city, and this is the first civilization that lives there. But because this is a place that everyone aspires, okay, and a perfect example is where we are now, Megiddo, that controls the entire valley over here, then they're under constant attacks. People want this piece of real estate. So eventually, someone that's stronger than them conquers them, levels up the place, and then they build their own town on top of the ruins of the former civilization. And the same story with them. They survive for a few decades or maybe a few centuries, but eventually someone stronger than them kicks them away and levels the place up and build their own town on top. So look at what is happening over thousands of years. It's a pile of civilizations. That's what a tell is. Okay? So from a distance, it looks like a mountain, but when you come close to it, you can see that it's all ruins of the different civilizations that were here. Now, what does archaeology do? The opposite, going from the top and peeling off the different layers. And this way, the archaeologists get to learn about the different civilizations as they go down and down and down till they hit the bedrock, and that's where they stop digging. Thank you so much for the hats. And I want a big round of applause for my presentation. Thank you so much. And so the unique thing about this particular tale, Tell Megiddo, is that this tale has the most layers, 25. 25 times Megiddo was built and destroyed. So every time from here on, when we drive by a place, and I'm going to say this is Tel Beit Shemesh or Tel Dan or whatever, you will know what a tell is, okay? That's exactly what I now demonstrated for you, and this is the tell of Megiddo. Another thing that's important in uncovering the layers, this also not only helps understanding what was here, but archaeology also aspires to know things like the conquest of the promised land. Was this a quick conquest of the land? Was this a slow conquest of the land? What is the criteria to determine that? How can we know 3,500 years after if it took Joshua 2 years or 200 years, okay, to conquer the land? Well, the main thing is to compare layers. So they come to northern Israel here, they dig a tell like Megiddo, and they expose layer number 12, for instance. And then they go 100 miles south of here to another tell, and they expose layer number 12 over there, and they compare the pottery. If the pottery is the same type of pottery, that means that the people there and the people here are the same people. And that means that the conquest was pretty fast and they settled everywhere more or less at the same time. But if number 12 over here doesn't match number 12 over there, and that doesn't match number 12 over there, that means that they conquered one area, but there were still different small Canaanite nations that occupied the land before all of it came under the occupation of the Israelites. In this case, I gave you an example. In this case, the common theory amongst archaeologists today that it was a process of about 150 years before the Israelites took over the entire promised land. All right, but just to show you why that is so important.